Marjorie.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
I'm so glad to have you here. We're doing Nashville interviews. So we have the community members here, which is awesome. And Marjorie's one of them.
Hey.
So we're here to listen to your community story for those of you that know, and I know you do, because right now only members can get this content. We're going to let her tell her story unfiltered, uncut, and then I will try not to interrupt until the end when we have a conversation. That's how it's working these days. So we're just going to go with it. So tell us.
I started on Manjaro a year ago in 2 weeks. I lost 89 pounds. I'm like wanting to maintain, but I honestly think that, I'm good where I'm at, but I should just do that last pound. Just even 90. Just a 90. Yeah. So, but what I really wanted to talk about today is just, how the right to vote was like something that we couldn't, that our forefathers or mothers did for us.
Yes.
I feel like this is something like that where we need to be instrumental in changing the trajectory for people
and our kids, and our grandkids,
that come behind us. And we have like a moral duty to help the people coming from behind. Yeah. So I started a foundation. It's called the Wonderland Foundation. And the whole purpose of it is to provide financial support to people who cannot afford these medications because it's just not fair. I personally am going to have mine covered as soon as it becomes a weight loss drug.
The indication.
Once that comes into play, I'm good. I'm golden.
Yeah.
So, and I was planning for this. I knew this was coming in June. And so I'm set, but I want to help other people. And I'm a graphic designer by trade. And so I'm just been so inspired by what's been going on. And a few years ago, I went to a graphic design conference here in Nashville, actually. And, one thing I'd never heard before in the art circles that I'm in is that art can affect change. It can be a catalyst for change. Yes. And I'd never thought about how powerful art could be.
Yes.
And then this happened with Manjaro. And I was just like, and I saw the disparity of it all, and it just broke my heart.
Yeah.
And that's just not the way I'm wired. And, I don't want to leave people behind. I have like coworkers who want to be on this and they can't.
Yeah.
And it just breaks my heart. And it's like, all right, there's got to be a way.
Yeah.
And so then I started to think about, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
This is how that experience before, God's like using that to like pull this together.
Yes.
My experience and that, and
I totally understand.
So I created this foundation, and it is completely supported by the sale of T-shirts. I will add other things. This is like the Wonderland sticker.
Yes. They're cute.
Did you guys TikTok shop it? That's the struggle puff. So it's coming. It's coming, and it should be by the time this podcast goes live. But I got into a little quirky thing where my laptop logs in with one email and my phone logs in with another, so it won't connect. So
I've heard people have that problem.
But I have a shop open on Etsy, so it's Kauth Design, Kauth Design.
Great
shop is out there, and so
it's Wonderland too.
A what?
A Wonderland.
It's Wonderland.
Yeah.
That would be
because some of us may never get to Wonderland.
Okay.
Some of us are born
Like
large. You need a Wonderland.
It's cute. Absolutely. So I'm going to work on a graphic designer. So I will be creating a website, and just people will be able to just like enter their name and their contact information and just check a box. I don't need to judge. I'm not doing any of that. Forget it.
Yeah.
Just check the box that says I cannot get this paid for by my insurance.
Yeah.
And we will do just like randomized drawing every month from the sales that month. It will all go to somebody.
Oh, I love that
so much.
That's so great. We when I started this podcast, I very much was like, I want to get to eventually we have some sort of fund to help people get their medicine.
Yeah.
But I have no idea what that looks like or how to do it. And this is so cool. You've found a way to help people,
It can happen.
Yeah.
But it's going to take all of us.
It's going to take all of us. That's the thing. We have to.
Behind us. I can't do this by myself.
No. None of us can.
But as you know, you have to spend money to make money. I've done fundraisers for United Way and multiple communities all at once, and we turned $3,000 into $80,000.
That's
so I know it's possible.
Yeah.
I totally know it's possible. And fundraising can be fun. It doesn't have to be.
Can you help me with that? I don't know how to do that. I try. It doesn't work so good.
Like one and stuff, but also obesity is a disease, and the message to the person standing behind you in line. It's like there's hope. Do not give up. It's not just suicide prevention.
You're not alone. It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
Yeah.
You have a metabolic connection that is not working, and this works.
Yes.
100% works.
100%. Isn't that cool? Well, so in terms of like when you were going through this, so like I know you're like, I can't even imagine. Like we were just talking about it. All right, we're gonna talk about thin privilege real quick. Okay, we got it. So she was telling a story about what that's like. So we tell it to them because it was a really good one.
So
for this, a big difference.
Okay, for this event, I was making name tags for everybody that kind of look like the Manjaro pens a little bit, and we used up the name tags the other night, and we were going to put them on these magnetic backings, and somebody didn't bring them, which is okay. We were just working with it, and so I needed to print out a duplicate set. Yeah. So I run into Kinko's at the Opryland Hotel, and the guy was just like, did not charge me for printing on the papers
at Opryland.
Don't tell us, boss, but like at Opryland. 5 pages of adhesive sheets, and he sat there and cut. And usually they charge you for every cut. And there was like probably 8, 9, 10 cuts on the page. And he didn't charge me a dime. He's like, no, that's fine. Don't worry about it. I was like, seriously, it's not like 5 o'clock and you closed out your drawer. He's like, no, don't worry about it. Just give us a good review. Opryland Hotel, FedEx, Kinko's, they're great.
Heck yeah. Marvelous. Let me just tell you, Opryland, I had to go because I was going to record Susan. It didn't go well, but you know. Well, because of the waterfall.
The waterfalls.
Yeah. But when I went there, they marked up their chargers. This is why I'm not having the privilege. That's why I'm showing the difference. Listen, I went and had to go figure out. All I wanted was an iPhone charger. It was $90 for an iPhone charger, and it's an old iPhone. It's not even like a new one. It's like a regular $90. Yeah. So they charge for everything. Yes. Yeah. Ridiculously. It's not like Disney that way, Opryland. Like, you know, it very much is like, you're stuck here, so we're going to charge all the things because you know you don't want to go anywhere because this place is crazy. It's huge. It's huge. When you were going through, like when you were trying to make a decision to start a Manjaro, was it like because of a health like incident? Was it because your doctor was like, hey, there's this thing out, you know?
So here's the story. Okay. I had been going to 2 different doctors, my regular GP, and then my girlfriends that I meet with once a month. We were talking about like hormone issues, and I was having night sweats and all the crazy things. And they're like, oh, you need a real feminine doctor. So I found this more holistic doctor and started going to see her. And this was prior to COVID. And she said, oh, your hormones are all out of whack. So we did the spit test. And we did it like every couple of hours all the way through the night, and then shipped it off to be evaluated and came back. She's like, oh, you're low in estrogen, estriol, and your testosterone's dropping. But if we bring up this other one, then the testosterone will come back up.
Fascinating.
And she said, once you get that level, she said, your weight will probably come up because I was already doing all the right things. Yeah. But in the meantime, like equilibrium and my stomach was off because of being overweight. And part of my stomach came through my diaphragm. So it's like I have a pouch like the size of my fist above my diaphragm. So I already had a gastric sleeve. So I was already eating small meals. I had wiped out all of my my sodas. I went straight to water. I was eating all the vegetables. I was exercising, and still nothing was dropping. The doctor said, you know, come back in a year. Let's see where you're at. Well, COVID happened. Yeah. And I had no idea that she had passed away. They had horrible secretarial services or whatever. They didn't notify me that she died.
Because of
this
is all fascinating.
So she's gone. Yeah. And my GP I knew was retiring. Yeah. And so I go back to my girlfriend. I'm like, okay, girls, I need a new doctor here. And I prefer female at this point. You know, I'm convinced, you know. And I went to go refill a medication, and they're like, the pharmacy was like, no, sorry, your doctor's deceased. You need to have a physician orders to refill this. And I was high blood pressure med, you know. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, what do I do now? So I checked with my girlfriends because, you know, connections. I trust my girls. Sure. And they said, you got to go see this new doctor. So I was like, okay. Actually, I got in with a nurse practitioner, and she was between an MD and an OD. And the OD is more preventative, and the MD is more reactive when it comes to health issues.
And what does OD stand?
I don't remember. DO. Sorry.
DO?
Yeah.
Doctor.
OD.
I don't know.
I don't know.
We like to learn here. Y'all Google it.
Figure it out. Yeah. Anyway, so she was kind of in the middle, and so I went to her, and it was like that initial patient, you know, establishing new services kind of thing. And she's, checking all my things. And I told her, this doctor that I had really got the hormones straight, and I'm doing all these things, but I'm still not dropping. And I'm really frustrated. What are my options? And I thought she'd give me a referral for like gastric sleep. But like I said, I already kind of had that. And so she's like, well, there's some medications out there if you want to try something. And I was like, I've never heard of these. And she's like, well, there's Wegovy, and there's a new one that's called Manjaro. It's brand new. But they're all in the same class of medications. They've been around for a decade. I was like, okay, I've never heard of this before. But I'm very cautious about medications because I landed myself in the ER a couple of times taking some diet meds. So, I mean, I was very cautious of my heart now. Like, I don't mess around. So my husband and I, like I said, let me get back to you on that. I went and she did my labs and she said, okay, cool. We'll find out if you're diabetic or not. But I've been pre-diabetic for a couple years that I know of. But the GP that I've been going to, he never said anything about me being pre-diabetic. But I looked back at my records and I absolutely was. So super frustrating. But I went home, looked at the stuff with my husband, and we went to the website and like drilled down even lower into the medical terminology and stuff that they have and buried at the bottom of their website. And it said in there that it had better results than gastric sleep. And I was like, cool. Don't have to do any, major upheaval to a trauma to my body. Sign me up. But I had seen enough as a caregiver of family members at end of life, seeing the comorbidities, how they react, seeing how their finances were completely depleted from paying for medications. When you're on limited income and you're retired, that's all you got. And you end up paying more for your insurance, the extra on top of your Medicare, all of that, plus your medications. I was like, you be a rich person and you will be comfortable if you can have all your stuff in check. So that was kind of my motivation to get this all going in the right direction. So it's like, I've taken care of everybody else, my children included, and then my dad and my aunt. I was like, it's time to take care of me. So that's kind of where I landed. And she was like, it's up to you. Which one do you want? I was like, I'm going with Manjaro. I mean, seeing those results and the statistics on their site, I was like, okay, let's try it. And my heart didn't ever feel funky. I'm no longer
have that. Some people have
some
that.
people, no,
it's rare. Some people have like just their heart rate goes up. I've noticed.
That's what I was afraid of. I was afraid of the racing heartbeat causing me to faint or whatever. And I had no issues. No, diarrhea here and there, and some sulfur burps, but I did the Tums, triple Tums.
I do the papaya enzymes. I only recently had to do that since 12.5.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I met when I was up on 12.5, I did it, but on 15, I never had to. Never.
Do you think that you'll go on a maintenance dose of the medicine?
I think that right now my plan is to, I'm titrating down. I'm back down to 12.5. I have one more dose of that, and then I'm doing it every 14 days. And once I'm done with 2 months of that, then I'll, because it stretches out for 2 months, the box, I'm not going to let anything go to waste. And then I'll just keep titrating down. When I get to 5, I'm going to go off it completely after 5 and just wait a couple months and see what happens. I am insulin resistant. That is my major issue. So if my body maybe knows how to use food for energy instead of storing it, I'll be in good shape. But if not, I know that there's something that I can go back to that's going to work. So,
totally. I wonder the same thing too, because like for sure my stuff is chronic. But like I know, and you guys know, like I talk about Brenda a lot as an example, and I know there are a couple other people in the community that have done that have gotten it off, and they have been able to continue and be successful. And they're like some of them are losing. But like before that happened, if you had said to me, no, like this isn't a thing that, or you need to be on it forever, like I for sure would have been like no, I'm sick, like this is the thing, and sick people need medicine. And it's not that I necessarily think that it's fixing things, but I can't help but wonder, is it getting our brain in a place, that we're able to do these things?
Right. The only thing I'm concerned about is like the inflammation. Because that was one of the first things that I noticed is like, I used to clean the house. I've got 5 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms and a lot of square footage, but I don't trust anybody else to clean it. I can do it up to my standards.
My mom's like that.
But like, I used to walk around like an 80-year-old woman. 80-year-old woman, just like, oh my gosh, so sore. So when that went away, and it wasn't after the weight dropped, that feeling was right from the get-go.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if that comes back, I might choose to stay on
Of
it.
course.
Because otherwise it's what, a leave? And I mean, that's not good for your stomach
It's,
or anything.
yeah, it's
I mean,
like for everything.
you
Yeah.
gotta figure what's the right amount. But to be on a lower dose, I would be okay with compounding if that's
Yeah.
cheaper. I don't know.
I
I'm
think
just gonna play it by
I don't
ear.
think any of us really know.
Nobody does, and that's the value of being on
Yeah.
TikTok
Yeah.
with this community is we're learning from each other.
Yeah.
And usually if you start a new medication, it's between you and your doctor or you and your pharmacist for all of what, 5 minutes or 5 seconds at
Yeah.
checkout, and so we finally have a group of people to share this journey with and follow what their examples and experiences are. And holy cow, you don't get that with any other medication.
Yeah.
So God,
Yeah.
us.
Right. I mean, for sure. Like, I think, and like, it's so great to hear about, it's so great to hear about like the progression, right? Like you see, we had Victoza Saxenda, right? Then we had Ozempic Wegovy, and now we have Manjaro, and I've decided it's called Babaro. Bariatric Manjaro. I just decided.
Okay.
So it's Babaro.
Yeah.
I'm trademarking it now.
Yeah.
So, and then we'll have, Retatrutide, whatever the hell that's going to be called. And like, and it sounds like they're just going for weight loss for that too, which is interesting. They're not even going for type 2 because I mean, why they have Manjaro, right? It's fine,
Right.
But I can't help but wonder, like, I think we're like in best of class at this point of these medications.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm so encouraged about the addiction piece. Like, I love the fact that like Brenda struggled with that quite a bit, right? Where, and she doesn't consider herself like an alcoholic, but just like the addictive piece with, substance. And, but I think just the fact that she has not wanted, it's been months, I think now, and she doesn't want it. And I'm like, is that what happened? Was she able to almost rewire how her brain works?
Right.
Like,
and think about how many people are fighting any kind of addiction.
Yes.
And
that maybe
the
don't
mental
have
health,
obesity, right?
Maybe they don't have obesity, but the addictions and like the mental health, I mean, how that could help our mental health in our entire country.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously?
For sure with me. Like, and I think we have so many people that suffer from anxiety and ADHD and how those things are related. And like for me, and that's one of the first things I've said is I would stay on this medicine forever.
Oh yeah.
For one, the inflammation, but also like the no food noise, that's a big thing, right? Yeah. But just in general, the horrible obsessive anxiety that I used to have that is gone. It's not like I took it's not like I haven't taken all the things. Like it's not like I haven't tried all the things in the land. Yeah. And I really think it just had to do because I had something biologically wrong. So how many people are out there like that? Like, I just can't wait. That I'm so encouraged because like there are people out there that struggle with addiction, but they do not have obesity. They do not need to lose weight. So I want to know what that looks like. I'm so encouraged to think that this may be a medicine that does that. I don't know about Ozempic Wegovy about that one, but I'm encouraged to know what Marjorie will do for that. It's very exciting to see. We are early adopters.
We are
early adopters. There we go. Well, that's been awesome. Thank you so much for coming and sharing. And we will put links to all the things so that you can get a Wonderland shirt and maybe a Twinderland. I'm just saying, it should be a thing. Maybe. We'll see. I'll get a Twinderland. I'll get a Wonderland too. We can. And we'll wear them on the plus size. That's what we'll do. I'll tell everybody. It'll be great. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yay. Let's help people.
Let's do it, guys.
Let's do it. You're not alone. It's not your fault. Have a good day. Bye.